Thursday Night Live. I'm your host, Dr. Rita Louise, and thank you all for tuning into the show today. So if you were here at the very beginning and it was being all weird, my screen totally froze up, and I reloaded the software, and it worked, and it didn't kick me out of the stream. So, yay. Anyway, it's Thursday, and it's nighttime, and we're live. So welcome to Thursday Night Live. So tonight we're going to talk about a topic that fits in with some of the other conversations that we've been having, and it's about the law of attraction. But before I start that, I wanted to make a different kind of announcement just to kind of give people a chance to get in here. So I started last Wednesday, and I will be back next Wednesday. So there's a podcast called The Awakened Nation. That is, the host is Gary David Zublik. David Zublik. And his show is from like 8 o'clock in the morning till 11. I appear on the show every other Wednesday. So I wasn't this past week, but I'm back there next Wednesday. At 9 o'clock Central Time. So if you want to hang out, I really never know what they're going to talk to me about, but I am now a regular guest on the show every other Wednesday at 9 o'clock Central. I need to get a link, which I'll share with you so you can know where to go. I do know that they stream on Rumble on the David Zublik channel. So you can check it out. You can check it out there and hang out with me, have more opportunities to hang out with me, because again, you just never know what I'm going to talk about. And especially there, because they ask me all kinds of weird stuff, but it's good because it's fun, and it's every other Wednesday at 9 o'clock Central. But his show airs from 8 to 11 Central. So I guess that is 9 to 12 Eastern. Not quite sure where he's at. Anyway, so our topic this week, and let me move my paper so I can actually see it, is about the law of attraction. So I think there are a lot of people that are familiar with the concept of the law of attraction, or they've heard of the law of attraction. But those of you that really aren't, the tenets of the law of attraction say that we create our own reality, that like attracts like. And so, what most people recognize about it is if we think about something, it's drawn into us, or if we focus on it, it will appear. And the notion of the law of attraction really came into in the current mind when the movie The Secret came out. I mean, it's been over 10 years at this point in time, but the tenets of the law of attraction date back to deep antiquity. And so from a philosophical point of view, and when I say philosophical point of view, I'm talking about the ideas that they talked about more in antiquity versus what they talk about today. And so I'm going to separate those two out. So from this older philosophical viewpoint, the idea is to quiet the mind and to allow your body to go into alignment with source. These concepts became, I'm going to say, a little more scientific through the New Thought movement. And the spiritualists at the turn of the century, like Helen Blavatsky or William Walter Atkins, were two of the primary people that were writing on this topic during the New Thought movement. But again, this idea dates back prior to the advent of spiritualists at the turn of the century. But it's interesting because after that time, authors like Napoleon Hill wrote a book, Think and Grow Rich. And the idea, the basis changed. And so what this new concept, and over time it's become, I'm going to say, even more misleading. So what it's kind of changed to, and excuse me, I'm going to sneeze here, maybe, is if you think about it, bam. If you make a vision board about it, bam. If you find gratitude in your life, bam. All you have to do is do these very simple things, and all of this great stuff is going to happen. So if I think really hard about this brand new red Corvette and I think about it every day, bam, someone's going to freaking give me one. I don't know. That hasn't ever happened to me. Now, everything that I just said is all true. Okay, maybe not the vision board part, but these concepts are all true, but it goes deeper than just make a vision board, tell the universe, find gratitude. It goes deeper. And so when people were playing around with the concepts of the law of attraction, especially the ones that were touted in The Secret, they found that it didn't work. And it kind of, I don't want to say it got a bad name, but it kind of got a bad name because it's like, okay, well, this is great. I'm thinking about it all the time, but I'm still waiting for that red Corvette. Not happening. I mean, unless Prince is playing it on the radio and then I have my little red Corvette, but the one in my driveway, not so much. And why I'm bringing it up in the first place is we have talked about a number of principles that support the activation of the law of attraction. We have talked about becoming more mindful and challenging our negative thoughts and being more in the flow with the universe or source, and quieting the mind and stopping that negative thinking. And those are the things that are needed. That's the real secret to The Secret, is doing those things in order to allow spirit to work through us. And it definitely is work, and it definitely is a practice. But many times what happens is that we think about something we want, and we think about it and we think about it, but then our negative thinking gets in the way and we end up self-sabotaging what we're trying to have and what we're trying to achieve. So this was a story that I tell in the Dang, It Was Me All Along book. And this was a lot of years ago, I would try to do in-person classes about psychic development. And so I would spend all this time finding a really cool place to have it and doing brochures and advertising online, because I was already online at that point in time, and sending out things to newsletters and blah, 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 blah. Wasn't charging a whole lot of money for these classes. And I would put it out there. And then I would sit there and go, okay, just keep positive thoughts. But then this little voice in my head would go, but what if nobody shows up? Did I charge too much money? Is this a good date? And all of these negative thoughts would come up tied to this class, and the biggest concern was, will anybody show up? And the response from the universe was, no, not really. So, so as they say, from your lips to God's ear, and that's how the law of attraction works. So if you have good thoughts, if you are being mindful, if you are keeping your energy clear and the flow moving through it and keeping your thoughts on the prize, and I'm going to say on the prize, then God says, okay. But if we're not keeping our energy clear and we have this thought of this is this thing that I want, but well, I don't know if I'm really going to get it, or I don't really know if this works, or I don't really, what is God here? Okay, and gives you that, And so it's interesting. Some people that are on here that come to the show know that I've been working on this house project, and almost immediately I was over budget. But I had this huge budget set, like number items set aside for my kitchen cabinets. But then I discovered that I had to like put in new flooring, and the build out on it has been a lot more than I anticipated. And I saw this random ad on Facebook about this flooring that seemed to be pricing too good to be true. So then I'm talking to the guy, and he goes, well, we have these white shaker cabinets. It's the only kind we sell. And, I can send you the pricing. And I get the pricing for that. And that also seems too good to be true. Are these like little tiny little cabinets that are for a dollhouse? I mean, the price was just great. But I just held that intention. It's kind of like, okay, I'm trusting that this is all going to be good. I'm trusting it's going to be good. And so the place, I mean, they ship nationally, I will assume, but the warehouse was in Dallas. And so I live like 150 miles from Dallas, and I'm like, you know what? It is worth my peace of mind to go drive there, look at these cabinets, look at the flooring up close and impersonal, and not just like the little baby sample that they send you. And in order to make a decision. And oh my God, it worked. It worked. This would be in the parking lot. Okay, after I did my happy dance in the store, because the cabinets were actually really nice. I was just like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, because what I had put out and what I trusted, with a little doubt and skepticism, but not negative doubt and skepticism, in healthy doubt and skepticism, actually came to pass. And so I will be getting my stuff from them. And so, bottom line of this whole thing is, I'm talking about this because we have spent so much time talking about being mindful and paying attention to our negative thinking and tapping and breathing and being in the flow in the show, that my thought is, if we do these things and the universe says, bam, here's this flooring and cabinets at a price that you can easily afford, then I am all about it. And one thing that I didn't mention about the change. So in the earlier materials, they really talked about quieting the mind and being in alignment, which is really what we have talked about, is quieting the mind and being in alignment. But what changed with things like the Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich and other books that came after that was that the focus changed from quieting the mind and being in alignment to, what can I get? If I quiet my mind and work on staying in alignment, what can I get? But as soon as you put that, what can I get, or what's in it for me, or if I do this, then what? Other than feeling calm, experiencing peace, then it invites the ego in, and it automatically interferes with the flow of your energy. And it automatically takes you out of alignment with source, because you're not doing it because you want to be pure and you want your energy to be good. You're doing it because there is this thing that you can get at the end. And it's a very ego-driven thing. I'm doing this and I'm like making a vision board because I want to get a car, but it's not about quieting the mind. It's not about being in your bliss. It's not about being in alignment. It's about getting the car, which is over there. This is alignment, car over there. And so if you're doing these practices, other than to experience peace or to feel good on the inside, then maybe you need to take a step back and really look at what you're in it for. Are you in it to reconnect and be one and be whole within yourself? Or is there something tangible that you're looking to get? And I feel like, many of the people that talk about the law of attraction have kind of deviated into this, what can I get mentality? And then they wonder why it doesn't work, because they're not in it to just be in the flow. They're in it for this thing. So let that stuff go, because the universe is going to take care of you in the way that it's going to take care of you. And you just have to trust that whatever is for your highest good and whatever is supposed to be happening is happening. And sometimes it can just be really hard to just trust. And it can be really hard to just breathe. And it can be really hard to sit there and go, okay, this was really crappy, but I'm going to trust that something will turn out of this thing. So that's my spiel for today. I hope that makes sense. I hope especially makes sense in line with the material that we've been talking about. And if anyone has a question or anything, or if you've missed some of the conversations we've had on earlier shows, please do go ahead and ask in the chat. So I'm going to do my little blurby things, and then we will start reading, because it's Thursday Night Live, and I'm Dr. Louise, and it is time for some free online psychic readings. But if you would like a more in-depth session with me, or if you have questions, have health concerns, issues going on in your life, need some energy work, need an ear to talk to, somebody to help you sort things out, please do go to my webpage, soulhealer.com, and set up a time for a private consultation. And while you're there, please don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. You can do that at soulhealer.com also. And if you do, every Thursday morning, you will get a notification of the next live stream, or the live stream that will be happening that night. So it's just a little reminder the day of, like, hey, live stream tonight. Okay. Please join my group, Dr. Rita Louise Live on Facebook. I'm always posting to that a bunch of memes that are healing, and some of them are pretty funny. If you have an event, or, I'm going to say product, but it really has to be kind of like-minded kind of things. Please do share it to that group. I'm happy to allow those things to go in. If you sit there and you try to post stuff about, hey, let me be your financial advisor, probably not. I'm probably going to deny it. But if you sit there and say, hey, I got this new book on spirituality, or I got this book on ghosts, or I got this book on ancient mysteries, or anything you think I might like, you're going through. Anyway, you can always listen to the show on YouTube, Just Energy Radio on YouTube. Please like and subscribe and set up the notifications there. I am also available on Twitter. I'm Dr. Rita Louise on Twitter. Replays of the shows can be heard on Rumble. I am Psychic Doc on Rumble. Again, all of my books, like Dang, It Was Me All Along, are available on my webpage or on Amazon.com. Anyway, let me do that and go over to the comments. So I'm going to just scroll through, say hi to people, and then I will go back and do readings. And so now I'm doing, if you haven't been here for a while, I'm doing card readings. And so I was saying I will shuffle 1 through 6 times to you, but that's too hard on my hands because I'm working on the house. My hands are not happy with me. So 1 through 3. So all you need to do is, like, I want a reading, and then like 2, or I want a reading in 3, not 6, just 1 through 3. But I will clear the cards, because I always clear the cards in between, which makes the extra shuffling. So 1 through 3, reading 1 through 3. Okay. So let's see. Wow, all kinds of people are here. So we have Jennifer Ruff. Hi, Jennifer. I think you're a new face. Welcome. Thanks for coming. And, oh, I guess if I click the button. Hi, Jennifer. Chris is here. Hey, Chris. I'm going to be calling your husband later about tomorrow. Lori 6 is here. Hey, Lori. Miss Amy is here. Hi, Wendy. Joe's here. Thanks, Joe. Gary McNeil. Hey, Gary. Hi, Debbie. Kathleen Connor. Hi, Kathleen. I think you're a new face as well. Welcome to the show. Let's see. Bradley's here. Hey, Bradley. You know what? I'm going to get up and get a lozenge. I don't want this coffee. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so let's see. We have Diamond. Hi, Diamond. Nice to meet you. Okay, and now I'm like slobbering on myself. Okay, so I said hi to everybody. Let me see if there's any comments. Joe says, congratulations on the Wednesday show. I am really, dang it. I'm really excited about the Wednesday show. I had been a regular on David's show years ago. And I don't know, it just kind of stopped, but I'm back. And he wants me there. So yay. All right, so Gary says, I've enjoyed your show. When you do think they're going to finish the work down, when do you think they're going to finish the work downtown? So Gary, are you talking about the streetscaping? I've been so good about this not coughing thing. So I don't know why it's just starting to come back today. Are you talking about the streetscaping on Washington? And if that's the question, I don't know, because I haven't really been down there at all. So Chris said, couldn't be more perfect for me anyway. Amy says, great topic. Following my bliss right to the farmer's market to sell laundry powder. And Amy, when you get a web page put together, please let me know, because when you come in, you can post it in the thing, and I'll put it up on the screen for people. Would never in a million years guess that I would be doing this after a 40-year corporate IT career. But spirit moves in weird ways, and sometimes you don't realize where you're being pushed to, but the place you get pushed to, it fills your soul and it makes you feel good. Okay, so Bradley, I'm going to come back to you. So Bradley said number 2, but let me just, Joe said, those that missed the talk show you were on last evening missed a great talk. So I was on Soul Wanderings last night from KGRA radio with AJ Rasmussen with AJ. And it was a really fun talk. Bradley wants to know if I would like help with my cough. And sure. And then Lori said, do you have any honey? And then I would give you some hot tea if I was there. And what happens is, shockingly, I talk too fast and I talk too much. And then I just start to cough. And so I've learned to have like a little pile of lozenges on the table. And I usually will pop one in my mouth before the show starts, and kind of keep one in there. And I didn't have any, and I forgot. All right. So, but thank you all. Thank you. Okay. So Bradley says he would like a reading and 2, please. Okay. So if you would like a reading, like Bradley says, I would like a reading 2, please, but you can have 1 through 3. So Bradley, let me kind of clear these real quick, and then I will do your 2 shuffle. But I will say, for you guys that have been coming here regular, they are shuffling much better than they were that first week. Man, they were stiff, because I hadn't used this deck of cards in freaking years. All right, Bradley. Let's see what they have to say for you. Okay, and this is the card that came up for you. So Bradley, it's kind of interesting. I feel like, and I'm going to say recently, like within the last couple of weeks, there's just been stuff going on that has been disturbing to your flow, disturbing to you and who you like to be. But I feel like that cycle has ended. I mean, I'm feeling like it was a cycle. It is a cycle. Maybe this is kind of interesting. Maybe it has to do with the eclipse. But I feel like that cycle's ended and you have moved into a real self-nurturing period right now. And I know that feels really good to you. And I like it because you're not just moving on to the next thing. You're kind of stopping and taking that in and taking yourself in. And I feel like there's a level of healing that's coming out of that and a new level of, and I'm going to say self-awareness that situation has caused, like you had an aha moment that came out of that. And so let me know if that makes sense to you, and if you want to share any of the details about that. I'm sure we would all like to hear the dirt. Okay, so let's see. So Lori says she watched that this morning, so I'm guessing it was the interview from yesterday. So we have another new face. Hey, Marty, nice seeing you. So Marty says, talking is equivalent to breathing more. You'll cough to clear your lungs to get more oxygen, and all that heats you up. Blood pressure goes up. A fan might help. Marty, there ain't nothing that heats me up. Even when I was in full-blown menopause, I only came up to body temperature with like other people in the room because I'm always freaking cold. And it's not a lung thing. It's a throat thing. I get a tickle in my throat, and then it's kind of hard to stop. But I appreciate that. And blood pressure, not so much. Not so much. But yeah. All right. So Chris says, yes, law of attraction. Nice way to explain it. Perfect. Thank you, Chris. So Debbie says, I'd like a reading if you have time. Do the others though first. I just want to have a general update on my life. Debbie, you can always just like come here. So you're just going to get a reading. And I'm going to be nice because they said 5. And so everybody 1 through 3, Debbie, you're getting a 5. So let's see. And if I get a card about puke, I'm just going to laugh. And no, I can't do it after everybody else first because you're next in line. Okay. I'm liking this card better. Okay, so this is the card. All right, it's not the card that came up, but this is the one I'm supposed to read for you. And I get the impression so it's kind of a 2-part thing. The first part is I feel like part of you, and I'm going to put the card back up. I mean, it's kind of like the death card in this deck, but I'm feeling like for you, it's like the scary things aren't scaring you anymore. And it's interesting what just came up is that abandonment issues that had been there before are leaving. They're transitioning out of your space. But I feel like so, and that's kind of like a first chakra issue, but I'm also feeling like your mental part is shifting where you're not seeing gloom and doom around every single corner. It's like you're starting to trust that things are going to be okay, even if there's something bad that happens. It's not doing this automatic go to the worst possible scenario, because you're having the experience um, of it not doing that. So I like this card for you. So anyway, let me know if that makes sense to you. Okay. Hey, Deb, you can always get a reading. Okay, so Diamond says, I would like a reading number 3. Okay, Diamond, let me just clear these bad boys real quick for you. All right. And 1, 2, and 3. All right. So this is the card that came up for you. Okay, interesting. So this is kind of interesting. And Diamond, I would really love it if you provide feedback on this, because I just kind of really feel like I'm a little bit out there, but it feels really right to me. I get the impression that you have been feeling really lost or really stuck or really confused as to what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to use your energy. But I feel like recently, and so when I say recently, I'm going to say in the last few weeks, you've gotten some answers. It's kind of like you got the light, somebody gave you the light, and now you can see this path. And even though it's not all the way to the end of the tunnel, but like, well, these are the next steps I need to take in order to get to this goal. So I don't know if your mentality broke it down or it wasn't this like giant task, or you just started listening to the small steps of what you need to do on a day-to-day basis. But I do feel like you've been listening and you've been acting on. And I feel like that has made all the difference, where you went from being a very passive, I don't know what to do person, to being more assertive and moving forward, because you know where to go, you know where you're going. And so very positive, very positive. So please do let me know what you think about that. Okay. So Bradley says, yes, ma'am. And so I'm guessing that, and then he says, bingo, hit the nail on the head. Thank you, Bradley. I do try. And then Lori said yes. So I'm assuming, well, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's about the reading or not. But anyway, okay. So Deb, let me know what you thought about what I had to say. So we have Brea. So if I'm not saying that right, please forgive me. And so I have a granddaughter, and her name, I'm going to say it's Leia. I don't know. I call her Layla. And my son always corrects me, because I'm never saying the right name. And so I'm just calling her like the L girl, and because she'll always be my Layla, and anyway. So if I'm not saying it right, sorry. If you have time, I would like a reading, whatever card you pull. Okay, will do. Okay, so this is the card I pulled. And let's see. So the impression that I get is that there have been things that you wanted to do, that you have thought about doing. It kind of goes along with Diamond reading a little bit, but that have been, I'm going to say, more in the planning stage. And I'm feeling like you are finally moving forward with them. I feel like there's a much more grounded energy to these projects. Um, and I keep wanting to use the word procrastination, but I don't feel like you procrastinated. I feel like you haven't done them because there really were time issues, or there was a financial issue, that there was something that kept you from moving forward. But I feel like that's been resolved, and now you're moving forward with this thing. And I feel like it's pretty early, but I also feel like there's some excitement because it's something that you wanted for a really long time. So good job. Again, if it makes sense, please comment below. All right. Deb said not the puke. Yeah, sorry, the puke. Solomon. Oh, so Solomon wants a reading. He says, inbox me privately. I have an important reading for you. Solomon, why don't you inbox me privately, because I have a private reading for you. Okay. Debbie says, yay, thank you. It makes perfect sense. Oh, and Solomon's back. It really is annoying when these spammers come in here. So let's do a reading for Solomon. Okay. So Solomon, this is the card that I pulled for you. When I look at your energy, it's like I feel like there's just a lot of insecurity there. I feel like, ooh, that you're a parasite. So like there's a tree that's in your garden. It gets like wisteria or poison ivy or that other ivy stuff that grows on your tree, and then it kills it because they're a parasite. That's what I get for you, Solomon. So take your little parasitic self and go away. Thank you. Enough said. And please just don't even give him any energy, because I'm done giving him energy. He's a parasite, and we're just done with it. Okay. Well, what's with you guys? This is Joe. If time, I will take a reading with one shuffle. Things have shifted. And so if there's time, you will always get a reading. If there's not time, that's the key. You got to get here early or you don't get anything. Okay, Joe. Okay, interesting card that you just got. So let's see. Okay. So I'm going to go here, and I hope this makes sense, and please do let me know. So I feel like whatever the situation has been that you've been around or you've been experiencing, and I feel like this has to do with other people, that you see the light, you see underneath the surface, you see the lie that was there, that was being pushed at you. I feel like you're not quite sure exactly what to do with that. I feel like you've made decisions, but it's still kind of bothering you. And I feel like the part that is bothering you the most is because now the king doesn't have any clothes, and you don't really want to look at the nakedness. And I feel like there's been smoke blown at you for so long that it's very hurtful to find out that that's not the person's true colors. So that was kind of hard, but let me know if that makes sense. Okay, so let's see. He's just working the room. Okay. Yeah. Private reading. Okay, so Lori 6 So Lori 6, do I know you, Lori 6? Like, are you like, if I like want a venti soy no water chai, would you know what I'm talking about? Is it that, Lori? Because if it is, I love you. If it's some other Lori, okay, I don't really love you, but you know, whatever. Because I mean, there's no picture, so it's kind of hard to tell. Okay, Lori 6, and we're just doing one shuffle. All right, I'm doing the shuffle over again because they did not shuffle for crap. Okay. All right, Lori 6. All right, so this is the card that came up for you. And it's interesting because I feel like there's all kinds of things going on in your mind, but I feel like, I don't know, the word that I want to use is there's this loneliness. I feel like you don't have anybody to talk to. I feel like there's so much you want to say that there's no place to do that with. And I feel like you don't feel comfortable kind of, you know, I don't want to say dumping it on other people, but emoting that way. You know, so I feel like there's confusion because there's part of you that doesn't really know what to do and are feeling a bit challenged kind of moving through this cycle. And what's interesting is I feel like there's part of you that doesn't even like want to even deal with people, doesn't really even want to be around people, that you just want to curl up and hide. And that's okay. You know, sometimes we just need to take our own counsel and our own advice. You know, and I am going to say, oh, I was on Lori. Let's go back to Lori. That as we cycle through stuff, the cycle will pass. It will pass. So know that. So Diamond says, I have an idea. Yes, making a change to being assertive. And Diamond, I'm feeling like when, you know, that there is energy behind the idea, like your energy behind the idea. And I feel like once you take that step forward and once you start moving forward, it will kind of take on a life of its own. And so it won't be as overwhelming as it might feel right now. You know, because one step will lead to the next step, which will lead to the next step. And so this hesitation that's been sitting in there for a long time will really go away and you'll just kind of get pulled into it. So that's really cool. Okay, so let's see. Okay, it's pronounced Bria. See, and I can actually like say that. So Bria, I'm a little dyslexic, and so phonics skills. And so I have trashed the best people's name. So feel proud. But see, I can wrap my mind, Bria. And if that's not it, then you're just hosed. Okay. Debbie says, I feel like you're spot on, especially the abandonment issue going away. It feels like a weight is lifting off me. And that's really great, Deb. I don't know. There's more, but I don't really know what that is. Oh, so Lori says, the show yesterday, I watched it this morning. Cool. It was pretty fun. I had fun. Okay, so Bria says, no, my health was a procrastination. But if it was a procrastination, then it's not anymore because you're not procrastinating because it's in past tense. So Chris says, Layla, Eric Clapton. I go, and that's why I keep calling her Layla, Leah, you know. It's the L word. And, you know, and I feel bad because it's my grandkid, but, you know, sorry. So Joe says, thank you, spot on with that. So Joe, you're going to have to like fill me in outside of here and fill me in on that. And then Lori says, you do know me. Yay! Hey, Lori, I love you. And she says, I love you too. And then she says, you were spot on. Thank you. Oh, ooh. And it's Michael Wesley. Hey, Michael Wesley, do you want a reading? Okay, I'm mixing, Michael. So get your reading this week and actually like be on the show and don't let your friends call you up and not get your reading. So tell me a number, Michael, 1 through 3. And anybody else that hasn't gotten a reading, we have 10 minutes. 10 more minutes. And if you've already gotten like a general reading, if you have a question, if you have a question or a comment about the early conversation about the law of attraction, how to maybe bring that more into your life, I'll be happy to answer it. Okay, so here's Michael's reading. Okay. That's Michael's reading. Michael, even though he just said, oh, 3. Too late. I read your mind. You're getting what I'm giving you. So, okay, this is kind of interesting, Michael. And I'm not quite, I feel like there's a detail that I'm kind of missing. And I'm going to say this the way that the energy is coming in. But this card, what it's bringing up for me is addiction issues. Now, I know you don't, you know, like you're not addicted to drugs, you're not addicted to alcohol, but I feel like you have been noticing, and I'm going to say maybe patterns in your life or behaviors within yourself that you're not really liking, you know, but you use them or kind of rely on them like they are an addiction. So I'm not feeling like it is like a substance addiction, but more behavioral, emotional, reactional. And I feel like you have, that some of them have come to light and you're like going, holy crap, what's with that? And you're trying to figure out what you can do to change it, modify it, have it be different. So I feel like, you know, it's a really good card. And I feel like there has been inner clarity and some light turned on to what's going on inside of you. So yeah, let me know what you think. No reading for Chris Turner. So is that Bruce Turner typing for Chris Turner that she don't want a reading? Hey, Veronica. And she says, all right. So Veronica says hi. Hi, Veronica. And she says, Dr. Rita, you were spot on about the guy. I shut him down. Okay. So Veronica, do you want a reading? Because, well, we got a couple of minutes left. Okay. So Chris, I'm not understanding. Because you typed HYH, yes, or yes. No. Oh. Bruce, why are you sitting there going? You need to come in as yourself. So then I can just pick on you like personally, up close and personal, and not like be hiding behind your wife, dude. Okay, Veronica wants number 3. And yeah, Bruce, if you want to. Yes, Bruce. Okay, so everybody, Chris is now Bruce, even though I haven't like clicked on that thing. But we're doing Veronica first. Okay, Veronica, let's see what's going on for you. So I grabbed 2 cards, so I'm going to read both cards maybe. So this was the top one. And this is the card that was underneath. And they both came up. Okay, Veronica, have you been feeling like you're all over the place lately? You know, I feel like there's a part of you that feels really calm and really stable and really grounded. And then something else will happen and you just kind of like go off in the wind into this, I don't want to say crazy place, but crazy place. And and I get the impression that you're not really liking that. You're not liking this kind of on again and off again thing that's going on in your life. Um, you know, maybe why it's coming up because maybe this is the first time that you've actually really seen it, um, like kind of in your face kind of thing. Um, I don't know. Let me know if that makes sense to you. It's kind of not making sense to me. Okay. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is Bruce, and Bruce would like a number one, even though he's hiding behind Chris, and says, "You are amazing." That you already like knew that part. Already knew it. And no, Kreskin's amazing. I'm just Dr. Rita. Just like, let's keep things right. Okay, let me clear these bad boys, and I will shuffle one for you. All right, here's your shuffle. And there's your card, not Chris Turner. So I get the impression that you've kind of had, you know, and I'm going to say a new idea, a new career idea kind of come up. I don't know, a new thing that you are planting the seeds to see if that is something you should move forward with, and or if it's something that you should put your energy into. I feel like you haven't really made a decision, but you're kind of testing the waters right now to see there's if there's something there to pursue. Um, I get the impression that you're really not interested in doing something just for the sake of doing something. But if there's something there and it will make life easier or make life better, then you're all about it right now. I feel like there's been quite a bit of praying about the whole thing and that the universe is trying to give you the answer. I'm not saying that this thing that has come up is the answer, but I feel like being open to the answer coming to you is the appropriate thing and not being hard-headed. Okay. So Michael says, thank you. I'm working on some personal things. Right on. And Michael, I feel like, you know, kind of like the curtain's been pulled back a little bit and some dirt that was, okay, so you know, like if you have a dust ruffle on your bed and, you know, and you dust your floors and you mop your floors or you vacuum your floors and they look good until you need to look under the bed and find that sock that rolled, that, you know, that went under there. And then you look down there and it's like, you know, and you see all the dust bunnies and there's the empty soda bottle and, you know, like crap, you know, and the other socks that you've been missing for like the last 10 years, they're all down there. You know, I feel like you had a little peek underneath that, under that bed, which was just a bit revealing to you. So, yeah. Okay, so Veronica says that, yeah, that has to do with the guy on then off. You know what, Veronica, my comment to you is if your energy is being affected by this guy so much with the on off or whatever, then it's not really worth having. It's not really worth it. You know, to have your energy and to have your space with everything that we talked about, having your energy messed with so much. It's not worth it. Because if it's being messed with now, it's just going to be messed with 5 gajillion times more down the road. All right. So, not really Chris says that was perfect. Well, now I'm curious to hear about that. And I do need to talk to you. So, I was thinking about calling you after the show. So, stay tuned. Anyway, man, time flies. I'm really enjoying this new format. The time really just moves through these days with this new idea. I want to thank everybody for coming to the show today, and especially the new people that came. I really appreciate you and really love you. And we will be back here again next week. But let me just go through my little banners. If you would like a more in-depth reading with me, please go to my website, soulhealer.com. That's soulhealer.com. While you're there, please sign up for my newsletter where you'll get notified whatever's going on. Join my group on Facebook, Dr. Rita Louise Live on Facebook, Just Energy Radio on YouTube, or Dr. Rita Louise on Twitter, or Psychic Doc on Rumble. So until next week, I am Dr. Rita Louise. This is Thursday Night Live. Be blessed.